If you've been diagnosed with Mast Cell Activation Syndrome, you know the exhausting reality. Managing antihistamines, carrying epinephrine everywhere, avoiding endless triggers that seem to be changed without warning, flushing, hives, digestive chaos, heart racing, brain fog, all at once with no clear pattern. And here's what makes it even more frustrating. Your doctors tell you it's idiopathic, which is medical terminology for we don't know why this is happening. They manage your symptoms, but no one's asking the bigger question. Why did your mast cells become hypersensitive in the first place? This video is for parents and individuals who are tired of living in constant fear of the next reaction, frustrated with medications that only manage the symptoms, and ready to understand the nervous system connection and root cause that's been overlooked. In this video, you'll learn why MCAS is often a nervous system problem, not just an immune condition. We'll talk about the vagus nerve connection that both conventional and functional medicine often overlook, and how the perfect storm so many of our kids and even ourselves go through triggers mast cell chaos. We're also going to talk about why mast cell, POTS, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome appear together so often and give you a drug-free action plan to address the foundational nervous system dysfunction head-on and without more medications. We see this pattern constantly in our office. Someone comes in with mast cell diagnosis, a bag full of medications and or supplements, and a list of triggers that keep growing. They're seeing allergists, immunologists, gastroenterologists, and functional medicine experts as well. Everyone agrees the mast cells are overreactive, but no one can explain why. What conventional medicine misses is this. Mast cell activation doesn't happen in isolation. Research shows that mast cells respond to signals from the autonomic nervous system. When that communication system is dysregulated, stuck in chronic stress mode, mast cells become hypersensitive to normal stimuli that shouldn't trigger them. So, 1. Mast cell activation syndrome is a nervous system problem. Mast cells are your immune system's first responders, stationed throughout your body to release histamine when they detect real danger. In mast cell activation syndrome, the activation threshold is set too low. They react to things that shouldn't be threats. And here's what medicine doesn't explain. The immune system is controlled by the autonomic nervous system, specifically the vagus nerve. Think of your nervous system like a car. Your sympathetic is your gas pedal, and your parasympathetic vagus nerve is your brake pedal. In mast cell activation syndrome, the gas pedal is stuck down and the brake pedal doesn't work. Your nervous system interprets normal things as threats. Mast cells release histamine in response, and this is called sympathetic dominance, and it creates the environment for mast cell chaos. 2. The perfect storm that creates mast cell activation syndrome. Now, this doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's not random. It's not just bad luck. It develops after years, sometimes decades, of constant stress, onslaught of stressors overwhelm the nervous system and immune function. Now, the modern female stress storm, which are teen girls, young adult women, and moms, are carrying an unprecedented load of stress in 3 major categories. So the first up is chemical stress, which are toxins or hormone disruptors. And today's females are swimming in endocrine disruptors. They're out there in plastics, the PBAs, the phthalates, glyphosate, and pesticide residues, artificial fragrances and cosmetics, heavy metals, mold exposure, ultra-processed foods, seed oils, and inflammatory diets. And on top of that, you have birth control pills, which are synthetic hormone exposure. You have SSRIs and other medications, acne medication, repeated antibiotic use, steroid prescriptions, and these compounds don't just affect hormones, they alter immune signaling and mast cell behavior. And when mast cells are constantly exposed to chemical stress, they become hyperreactive. So, second up is physical stress. And this could be hormonal, it could be structural, it could be physiological. The female physiology is not static. It's cyclical and dynamic. Now, I also want you to layer in, puberty hormone shifts, monthly menstrual cycles, pregnancy, postpartum depression, breastfeeding demands, sleep deprivations, perimenopausal hormone instability. And each stage is a neurological and immune stress event. And then I want you to add on, high intensity sports, overtraining, undereating, chronic inflammation, concussions, auto accidents, sedentary tech posture, and your body never gets to reset. And over time, the autonomic nervous system shifts towards survival mode, and mast cells respond accordingly. And 3, we have emotional stress. This is any trauma, pressure, or mental load. And this one may be the most overlooked of all of them, because you got academic pressure, social media comparison, body image stress, relationships trauma, workplace burnout, financial stress, caregiver overload, and the invisible mental load moms carry. And this chronic emotional stress drives elevated cortisol, sympathetic dominance, vagal tone suppression, and immune dysregulation. And mast cells are directly wired to stress hormones. And when the brain lives in fight or flight, mast cells follow. So, there's a 3-stage progression I want to go over. So, stage 1 is accumulation. So when you have years of chemical, hormonal, physical, and emotional stress stack up, symptoms are subtle at first. Your PMS will worsen, you'll get migraines, anxiety, bloating, histamine sensitivity, fatigue. The labs often look normal. And then you go to stage 2, which is dysregulation. The nervous system shifts to a chronic sympathetic dominance. And what you see then, you start to see hormonal chaos, cycle irregularities, autoimmune markers, you get POTS syndrome, food sensitivities, hives, flushing, itching, brain fog, and the mast cells are all primed now. Which leads us to stage 3, which was hyperreactivity. And this was when the Mast Cell Activation Syndrome emerges. Your system loses discrimination. Mast cells begin reacting to temperature changes, foods previously tolerated, smells, stress, hormone shifts, supplements. And at this point, it was like everything is a trigger. But the root isn't random sensitivity, it's long-standing autonomic nervous system dysregulation on a chronic 3T stress. Now, big thing is why mast cell activation syndrome often clusters with POTS, EDS, fibromyalgia, and dysautonomia. Now, these aren't isolated conditions, they share a common thread: chronic nervous system dysregulation driving immune misfiring. And medicine often treats the histamine, the hormones, the anxiety, the inflammation, but misses the central command center, the autonomic nervous system. And until that piece is addressed, the storm just keeps on cycling. So, we'll talk about why medications aren't enough. Now, antihistamines, mast cell stabilizers, and leukotriene inhibitors help manage symptoms and keep you safe, but they don't address why your mast cells become hypersensitive. If your car's braking system is stuck, pressing harder on the gas helps you move forward, but you're burning more fuel, wearing out your engine, and you still haven't released the brake. And that's what medication does for mast cell activation syndrome. It helps you function without fixing the stuck brake. The vagus nerve is the brake pedal, and when it's not working, your body can't calm inflammatory responses. And conventional medicine sees the mast cell problem, but misses the nervous system dysfunction driving it. So, let's talk about the neurological path forward. At our office, we use insight scans to measure nervous system function and reveal what's actually happening in your body. What we typically see in mast cell activation syndrome is high sympathetic activity, which is your gas pedal floored, and low vagal tone, which is weak brake pedal. Neurological exhaustion and tension patterns throughout the neuromuscular system. Poor adaptability and reduced resilience to outside stresses and triggers. And neurologically focused chiropractic care addresses the dysfunction by removing the subluxation, especially where the vagus nerve is vulnerable. As neurological function is restored, vagal tone improves, the brake pedal starts working, and the nervous system shifts out of chronic threat mode. And the scans often improve before symptoms do. People see nervous system regulation in inside scans weeks before they notice fewer reactions. And this is the healing from the inside out, addressing the foundational dysfunction first so the other systems can come back online over the course of care. Now, if you struggle with mast cell activation and you want to dig deeper into the root cause, click the link in our bio or send us a DM to learn more about the role that sympathetic dominance, dysregulation, and dysautonomia may be playing. And these scans can be life-changing. They only take 15 to 30 minutes to complete, helping you learn truly what's going on deep in your nervous system so you can develop a more effective, drug-free action plan. Or if you're flat out ready for help and want to schedule an appointment with us at Vanilla Chiropractic here in Virginia Beach, we can do that too. You'll find links to do that in our bio as well, or send us that DM and we'll reply right away and get you on the books. The nervous system and the immune system are meant to heal, recover, and be in balance, not in a state of constant overreaction. So let's work together to bring your nervous system back into balance and to the other side of these daily challenges.